Okay, let's just jump right in. Imagine this for a second. You are a young college math lecturer, you're pretty broke, and you have to commute 8 kilometers down a really busy highway every single day.
Not a great start to the morning.
Right. Now, what if you had an alternative? A beautiful young black elephant ridden by a young sadhu who keeps offering you a ride to work.
That's the choice. And that incredible collision of, the totally absurd and the completely mundane, that's really the heart of what we're looking at today.
Exactly. And the sources we have are extracts from the Hindi novel Deewar mein ek Khidki,
Which translates to a window lived in the wall.
so our mission for this deep dive is to explore how the main character, Raghuveer Prasad, navigates these intense financial and physical constraints of his life. And he does it by retreating into and then sort of expanding his world through just pure poetic imagination.
We're looking at how a tiny rented room and a really meager income, we're talking 800 rupees a month.
800.
Yeah, 800 rupees a month, teaching mathematics at a college 8 kilometers away, can still contain this infinite mental landscape.
And he's so young, right? Only 22 or 23.
Exactly, fresh into his career. And the pressure of that tiny salary and that daily grind along National Highway No. 6 is, that's his defining struggle.
That salary, 800 rupees, that's the concrete, unavoidable reality he's up against every morning. The contrast is just immediate. You're waiting for a packed, smelly auto rickshaw, and there's a literal elephant right there.
It forces him to live in two completely separate, almost competing realities. And the sources show us right away that Raghuveer is uniquely equipped to handle that kind of division.
Yes, let's start with that. There's this genuinely surprising little fact about him that comes out in the classroom. Raghuveer, our young math lecturer, is ambidextrous.
He's incredibly ambidextrous. The sources are so specific about it. He writes equally clearly and neatly with both his left and his right hand while facing the blackboard.
So he can start a complex equation on the left side of the board with his left hand.
And just seamlessly continue it on the right side with his right hand without even breaking his stride.
What I love is how everyone around him reacts. The new students, they take a while to even notice. But his department head is just perpetually baffled.
Convinced he must have been blessed with two right hands.
Right.
It's just a wonderful, simple metaphor for his whole internal situation, isn't it? He's navigating a world that demands intense efficiency. A math lecturer on that kind of wage, but his mind is already working in this doubled sort of split way.
He's doing the work of two people.
Literally, yeah, on the blackboard,
Yeah.
but also metaphorically. He's managing his reality and his fantasy at the same time.
Exactly. It's an ingenuity that the system just doesn't reward. And this duality, it brings us right back to his commute. It brings us back to that elephant.
And this isn't just any old elephant. It's described as beautiful, young, and black. And it's always laden with these freshly cut tree branches, and it's being ridden by this, charismatic young sadhu. It's a real spectacle.
And the sadhu, he sees Raghuveer waiting for the dreaded tempo every day, and so he keeps offering him a ride.
And this is where the paradox really hits. The temptation is there, but Raghuveer just instinctively hesitates. He finds the whole idea of riding an animal that's, associated with royalty and epic journeys to his tiny, low-wage job.
It's just absurdly inappropriate.
Yes. He has this perfect analogy for it. He feels like a former king going to the market to buy vegetables.
It's the wrong vehicle for the wrong mission.
He gets the optics, but also the pacing. That elephant represents this beautiful, slow antiquity. It moves so slowly that Raghuveer's tempo just blows right past it. Even bicycles, the sources say, are faster.
The modern world is just moving too fast for that kind of majestic, slow beauty.
And that's his struggle right there.
Yeah.
Choosing the ugly, fast necessity over the beautiful, slow possibility.
Which sort of dictates his home life, too. He manages to find this little escape hatch in his tiny 30-rupee rented room.
He does. He does it through his windows. The room itself is small, almost claustrophobic. But Raghuveer uses these two opposing windows to mediate his relationship with the outside world.
The front window is just pure chaotic reality. It overlooks this congested street where his very existence is basically public entertainment.
It's fascinating. The neighborhood children, especially this one little girl, Gudia, who's maybe 6 or 7, they use his window like a TV screen. They stack up stools just to peek in and watch him.
Watch him do what?
Anything. Whistling, sitting, standing, making tea. He's essentially performing his life for them.
You'd think that would drive him crazy. But he actually embraces it. He sees it as a connection, saying the window opens a path out of his loneliness. He's turning a constraint into a kind of shared space.
A public exposure that brings him a private relief. But the rear window, that opens into a completely different world, an almost mythological realm.
His secret garden. It's a deliberate contrast to the noisy front with the auto stand and the pan shop. The back is all peace and nature. A mud-plastered path, a clear, shallow river.
Clean enough you can drink from it, supposedly. And it's surrounded by these ancient towering trees. Peepal, banyan, neem.
And there's a little tea shop run by an old woman, Booty Amma.
Right, so the front is all consumption and duty. The back is contemplation, sensory richness.
And that's where we really see his naturalist eye emerge. He stops just looking at nature and starts using it as a mirror for, well, for human existence.
He draws these deep, really surprising parallels. He starts comparing human skin tones to the bark on trees.
That is so specific.
Isn't it? He notes that the bark of the neem and mango trees is dark, almost black, but the guava tree's bark is wheatish and smooth. He's finding human texture in nature.
And he does the same thing with birds.
Yes, with their flying patterns. He observes that parrots fly really close together in these large, dense flocks. But crows and egrets, they're always scattered, flying seemingly alone.
So he's building his own framework for understanding society, for relationships, just by watching the world outside his back window.
He's organizing the chaos of his life by organizing that world. And all of this sensitivity, it's preparing him for the most important person to enter his inner world, his new wife, Sanasi.
Her arrival is wonderful, but it also, immediately sharpens the reality of their situation.
Absolutely. They have to grapple with the actual physical constraints, the
Yeah.
tiny room, and Rokuvir's really acute anxiety about only having one cot. He's so worried about privacy.
The world is just too small for their intimacy, so what do?
They massively expand their mental space together. Their relationship is just defined by this shared construction of fantasy.
And the sources give us this perfect example. Ro Hoover gets home late from the bus stand, tells her a simple story about his trip.
And she completely misunderstands it. Or rather, she enhances it. She believes he didn't take a bus, but that he rode a horse.
A horse.
A horse, and that he stopped to drink saffron milk in some grand, ruinous old inn, a sarai. And Raghuveer, he sees her delight in this version of the story.
Mm.
And he just goes with it. He doesn't correct her.
He reinforces the fantasy. He realizes the truth of the horse and the saffron milk is actually more valuable than the truth of the crowded bus.
They're actively collaborating to make their small reality magnificent. And they take it further. They fantasize about flying away on their single cot to a place where, and this detail is key, where there are 6 months of night.
An ultimate escape from the sun-drenched, duty-bound reality of his life. The cot becomes a spacecraft.
Their mental space is limitless, even if their physical space is tiny. But the most incredible moment, where the fantasy gets validated by hard reality, happens outside the room.
In that secluded backside realm.
Yes. They go out together and they lie down on this huge, flat, smooth, black stone near the river. It's this intimate moment of peace, away from the scrutiny of the front window.
And the next morning, the stone isn't just a stone anymore.
No. It's covered in these faint, shiny markings. They realize it's the imprint of their small jewelry.
You can see the delicate lines from Sanasi's earrings, her bracelets.
And the distinctive half-moon shape left by her pail, her silver anklets.
So the black stone, this hard element of reality, has literally recorded their intimacy. This is where that cultural concept you mentioned comes in, the kusari.
Exactly. This stone acts as a kusari, which is a traditional touchstone. For centuries, jewelers would use this type of hard black stone to test gold. They'd rub the gold against it, and the mark it left would validate its purity and preciousness.
So the stone is testing their experience.
Precisely. The stone isn't just recording an object, it's validating a moment. It's saying that their shared joy, their love, which is their only real wealth, is pure and precious enough to leave a tangible mark on unyielding reality.
Wow. So the wealth of their inner world is proven genuine by the outer world.
That's it. It's a profound interaction.
Yeah.
And just as they reach this poetic peak, the most absurd reality gets dumped right on their doorstep.
The sadhu leaves, and he leaves the elephant.
Just abandons it. That majestic, slow possibility from the commute is suddenly a massive, unexpected, terrifying liability parked right outside their house.
The stakes just skyrocket. Raghuveer is in a total dilemma. What's the responsible thing to do? Call the forest department. Report the sadhu.
And his department head is freaking out, telling him to report it immediately. He's worried Raghuveer will be held liable for any damage the elephant might cause.
The department head is all about the legal, pragmatic reality. An elephant is property. Property causes liability.
But Raghuveer and Sanasi, they're guided by this new shared compassion. They choose a different path.
They decide to take care of it temporarily. They feed it fresh tree branches.
Which, and this is a great detail, are cut by a local boy who uses the trees to sneak his cigarettes. They haul water for it.
But the real transformation is Sanasi's. She starts out terrified of this huge animal, but she slowly overcomes her fear.
To the point where she's feeding the elephant rice and roti directly from her hands. She domesticates this wild, overwhelming burden.
She turns the liability into a temporary pet. It's a complete reversal. Instead of Raghuveer riding the wildness, he and Sanasi are nurturing it.
And this period of care ends when the sadhu finally comes back. He's sick, he's frail, a neighbor had been taking care of him, and he reveals he was worried about the elephant. But, crucially, he says he left it in Raghuveer's care.
So he trusted him. He saw a capacity for kindness in Raghuveer that Raghuveer didn't even see in himself.
Exactly. And that leads to the final departure. The sadhu eventually leaves for good, and he takes the elephant with him. And its absence leaves this profound, lingering void.
Raghuveer captures it so beautifully. He observes that the darkness in the shape of the elephant lingered in the morning light outside his window before it slowly blended back into the new day.
It's a powerful final image. The physical burden is gone, but the memory, the emotional impact of having cared for something so massive, it remains. It's enriched the canvas of their life.
This whole deep dive really illuminates his journey, doesn't it? He starts out so constrained, so lonely. But by leveraging the imaginative space from his windows and then by integrating Sanasi's poetic vision, that tiny room never managed to crush his spirit.
And you see that the inner world and the outer world, they stop being separate things. Even when he locks the door, the sounds of the birds, the smell of the flowering trees from the back, it all just drifts in through the open window. The chaos at the front door can't stop it.
And the sources specifically note how his fear of this massive responsibility eventually lessened. The fear of the elephant was lessening, it says. He learned to manage it by just addressing its immediate small needs.
I think that's the real takeaway here for you, for the listener. Raghuveer's elephant was a symbol of, financial pressure, impossible choices, this wild, unwanted responsibility. But through consistent, focused attention, and crucially, by sharing that burden, it became domesticated. It became manageable.
So we'll leave you with this thought to chew on. What large, seemingly overwhelming elephant are you constantly trying to rush past in your own life? That financial burden, that intimidating project, that huge looming task? Could it be that with consistent, gentle focus like Raghuveer and Sanasi feeding it rice and roti from their hands, that immense responsibility could become not only manageable, but an accepted, even a domesticated part of your everyday landscape?